Hello friends, welcome to my channel on Pharma Learnings. Topic of today's presentation is to understand the budget, expenses and income during PhD education. To simplify this process, in this presentation, I took a base case scenario where a PhD scholars receive an annual scholarship of 25,000 US dollar. The scholarship also include tuition waiver and health insurance benefits. Now, first, the scholarship of 25,000 can be considered as a gross income, which is subjected to income tax. If we consider the federal income tax limit, which is available online on every website, you can type in Google and you can know the which bracket this income belongs to. So this income belongs to a bracket of $9,700 to $39,476. So it is subjected to 12% of federal tax. And depending on the state income tax also, there is a information by state on how much tax would be deducted from the gross income based on like a tax bracket. And let us consider the base case scenario of 5% here for state income tax. So considering 25,000 annual income, one needs to have federal tax and state income tax of around 4,250, which at the end of the year provide you income at hand of $20,750 to start with for the first year. With respect to variable expenses, so the first thing would be housing. Typically, when student comes to United States, the first thing is they rent an apartment and find a place for living. In comparison to a culture in developing countries where hostel predominates, here in the United States, along with the hostel, there is facility of multiple multiple choices, and preferably for PhD student, they typically either share or have one bedroom apartment, which could cost on monthly basis of 700 rent in rural or suburban area. And again, we hypothesize here that whatever the cost for rent we are taking here, it is for rural or suburban area because most of the universities are located in suburban area or rural area. If it is like urban area, then the cost would definitely be higher. It can go up to $1,000 per year for rent, and therefore typically people do share apartment, like two people, three people can share two-bedroom apartment. So that's a standard cost. And let us consider for now, for this example, $700 per month as a fixed rent for an apartment, which could be one bedroom or two-bedroom apartment. Based on this estimate, um, one can forecast around $8,000 per year. It also, there could be a separate charge for water, recycle water and sewer, waste removal, online internet service, phone. And here in the United States, most of the time, uh, here postpaid system dominates, and therefore there is a regular billing with fixed amount of data, which typically cost per line of $60 for 2 gigs or 4 gigs of data with unlimited phone calls and unlimited message. Electricity, it varies in different weather and different geographical region. If you are living in a colder region, then you expect to have more electricity. With gas heater, with electric heater or gas heater, it could range to $100 and $200 per month during the time of winter, and in the summer it could be less. But on an average, let us take a base case scenario of $40, which equates to $480 per year for a single student, not married student, not married with child student. And this is more applicable to PhD students without unmarried PhD student. With respect to food, this is also typical regular grocery monthly to, to may cost around $200 per month, and which equates to around $2,400 per year. And when we add restaurant, regular tea or coffee during your lab or during your study or in school restaurants, you can expect to spend at least $50 per month, which equates to $600. So at the end of the day, around $4,000 you can anticipate for a food expense, which consists of around 20% of your salary, and majority of your salary or your income, gross income, or the income in hand uh, will be taken up by your housing. And the bigger chunk would be from transportation, and here the transportation would be depending on the state. Different state and different universities could have different facility. If you get admission near urban centers such as Boston or New York, there may be facility of train, so you may require to have train passes, or more convenient bus services would be available in urban area, whereas in rural or suburban area there may be requirement for car. So one needs to, and car becomes necessity later on also. So one can anticipate at the time of your study to purchase a car, and it is always better to buy either like a second-hand car, because first-hand car will cost around $25,000. So, and most of the cars which has a mileage less than 50,000 miles, you can purchase it, and it will last during the PhD time for you. If you take a car below $10,000, it may be less expensive, but the maintenance would be more. And some of these cars may not be safe to drive because they may not be functioning problem or functioning issues within the car. So it is always better to take a good car in good condition from a good dealers, or to take someone who has some experience in purchasing car. And especially at this time, your department colleagues and your seniors who have some experience, they may be the best person to guide you to take appropriate measures in terms of transportation in general. With And so let us take a base case scenario of having a car of $12,000. You can take a loan which can be financed as $500 per month lease for 24 months. So you anticipate $6,000 in the first year, and the subsequently $6,000 in the second year, and you can uh, finish the lease. You can also take car for 4 years rather than 2 years. Then you will pay less expenses upfront. Rather than $500, you pay $250 per month as a mortgage or monthly payments for your leased car. Overall, in the base case scenario, if you purchase a car in the first year, finance for 24 months, it may take about 35% of your total income. So in this scenario, if we calculate your first year, you will be in negative of $1,000. Subsequently, in the second year of your education, you may still have remaining loan for your car, and we anticipate the same situation with respect to mortgage, housing, and food with no changes. Um, then and decreasing some of the expenses pertaining to your bus or train services because you have car now. In the first year, you still have some expenses, but from the second year, you won't have too much expenses with respect to bus or train. Then your expenses becomes again around 35% of your income because you have some negative income, negative balance in the first year. In the second year also, because of the car, you have some negative balance around $1,500. But in the third year, at the end of the day, if you have same amount of housing arrangement, food, and transportation, now you don't have a loan now, so you become positive with you have some savings now in the third year, and subsequently in fourth year and fifth year you may have more savings. So at the end of the fifth year, while you're graduating, you may have around $15,000 at hand. Now this is considering you just purchase one larger expense, which is car, apart from regular housing, food, and personal care related items. If you purchase, it is common like for international student to at least visit their parents once a year. So you you can anticipate an expense of $1,000 for tickets, air ticket to and fro. And then of course when when we go to our our house or go to home, for international students, they it may be required like there may be some gift exchange, so you can anticipate around $1,000 for the gift exchange, which will again, if you it depends on how many times do you travel during 5 years. If you go for 5 times, then you can anticipate around 5,000 of ticket and around at least few thousands for gift exchange. So again, this will become a little bit less, around 10,000, or it could range around 8,000 to 10,000 at the end of the 5 years of your studies. You may have a gross income of 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25, so 50 plus 50, 100 and 125K. So 100, and after having a gross income of 125,000 within 5 years, you would end up in saving around 15,000. So just 10% of your gross income. So this is just a short video on base case scenario of a PhD student who is coming from abroad, unmarried, having a scholarship of 25,000. This could be a trajectory of the balance sheet. And it depends on, like, if you change some of the forecast estimate, if you share apartment, and if you're living in a rural area or rural school, this expenses could be lower. Like it could become 700, two people could have $350. So you save 50%. So you save around $4,000 per year. So there would be changes in the savings estimate across the year. So this is just a snapshot. I will also present a base case scenario for PhD students who are married and coming to United States for the first time, and subsequently PhD students who are married as well as having kids. They are coming for the first time. What expenses do they encounter apart from regular expenses? So stay tuned on my channel. Thank you for listening me. And if you like, please subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.